And it's your boy, Roeshan Gomez. You are listening to another episode of the Rumah podcast. And today in the house, a very special guest, someone familiar to many of you, Miss Puteri Eleni. Welcome, Puteri.
Hello. Thank you for having me tonight.
Welcome back. Yeah, we are recording at night.
After work, guys.
After work. Yeah, we are hustling.
Hustle life.
How have you been? How's things?
I've been good. I've been very busy, and it's a good busy. I've been busy with my kids. My firstborn's turning 7. My second one's turning 4. And so I've been busy just raising them. I've been busy editing more books, writing more books. I've been busy climbing the corporate ladder. I've been busy.
And pulling people down.
No, I've not been pulling people down. I have juniors now.
Right, you're right.
And
stomp on them.
I do not stomp
like the
on them.
insects they are.
No, shout out to my juniors, Lukman and Mira.
Yeah, look out for the knives stuck in your
No,
back.
they can vouch that I don't stomp on them. I hope I don't stomp on them. And I've been busy. I've moved recently. And then I've just been busy trying to redo my whole life, make things more convenient. I bought an EV.
Oh wow.
That was fun.
Right.
I've just been trying to prioritize my health, my physical health, my mental health, and like convenience. Yeah, things like that. So yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be an adult because I still feel like a kid.
Oh dear.
You know, I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
guess it's a good thing.
Maybe it's because I'm not married yet. I don't have kids. Maybe that's part of it. But I feel like I'm still the same Roeshan Gomez that was in high school, but of course a bit different. But I still feel young. I still feel like a kid. Like sometimes I almost forget that I'm in my mid-30s.
Oh, Roeshan, speak for yourself. I feel old.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you still feel like, I mean, you've already answered it, but do you still look at yourself as Puteri Eleni and all you are, or is it now like Auntie Puteri Eleni? Do you feel yourself like becoming like how you used to look at like your aunties and your mom? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I am definitely not my mother. I am definitely not my aunts. But I do feel like I wouldn't say like the 16-year-old Puteri or even like the Puteri that was 4 years ago or 3 years ago was the Puteri that I am today. I think I feel like a lot of things have happened in life and all these experiences have made me wiser, more jaded maybe, but wiser and tougher. And no, I'm definitely not the same. That's why what do you mean by when you say you're young?
Yeah, you know, like when we were younger and we looked at adults, we put them almost in a separate category. And like we were in a separate category. I don't know whether you had that. But I could never relate to my like...
Yeah.
Because now when I look back, I realized I was categorizing people who were in their mid-30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And I looked like them like they were so far away, so distant. And now that I've reached that level, I realized like, oh damn, actually they were super young. You know, like when I think about my uncles who passed away maybe in their early 40s.
Yeah.
At the time, it seemed like they were so much older.
Yeah.
Like there was no distinction between 40s and 70s. They were like all
Understand.
But like now, when I look back, I'm like, damn, he was really young when he passed away. Yeah. She was really young when she passed away. You know, you get what, like the way we perceive time.
But I still wouldn't say like I perceive myself as my mother was at my age. I feel like we were adults in different times. So I guess that's why I don't see that easily. But having said that, I can definitely see this barrier between me and my kids.
Sure.
So my kid just had a birthday party last weekend and I couldn't understand half the jokes. There were a lot of 6-7 jokes.
Oh dear.
There were a lot of like, Auntie Puteri, this is not the song that we listen to. And I go, oh, okay. And things like that. So, and the presents also, they're more changi. I think we were just like really happy to get presents, macam pencil box set pun kita okay. But now they ask like, I think it's a good thing. They ask deeper questions. So and the kids ask me this.
Auntie Puteri, can I have a ChatGPT Pro account?
No, they'll go, Auntie Putri, what does Ezra like? What are his interests?
Wow.
He's 7.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that's very thoughtful.
They're getting smarter for
They
sure.
are getting much smarter.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I wonder, do you see any similarities between when you were a kid and in your children's lives? Do you see any similarities? Do you understand? Or is the gaps too big?
Oh, no. So I do see similarities in the sense that I was not an easy child to raise. I am 100% sure that when I look back, I definitely had ADHD.
Sure.
I had a very hard time focusing in class. And as a girl, I had to mask it a lot.
Sure.
And so, but you would see it in the small details. Like, it's very hard for me to focus and I'll doodle in class.
You always used to
I used to like
spin.
I still do.
Yeah.
I still do.
I remember that.
Pencil.
I don't know why, but that's a vivid memory. I always remember you playing with your pencil.
Yeah, no.
I think maybe I thought it was cool and I tried to do it, but I couldn't.
I think that was a trend in my class, Dulu.
Yeah.
In the nerd class.
Yeah. We'll get into that. Maranti. The trauma, the Maranti trauma.
And then I start seeing that in my firstborn, who also has a hard time focusing and who has like 10 windows open at all times. So I'm proud to say that I try a different approach now. So I think back then, if we couldn't focus, the teacher memang hentam. I got caned several times for not scoring a certain threshold, or like I pernah kena duduk kat luar sebab I tak siapkan like, because I missed out like, I bought 1, 2, 4 and I missed out 3. I pernah kena duduk luar for that. But now I realize like Ezra does the same thing and I go, oh my God, you have my brain, you have ADHD, and he also cannot stay still. So he also needs to always doodle on something, or when he's waiting for me to buy supplements like Guardian, he will like walk around.
Yeah.
So I always tell him, Ezra, you need to do one thing at a time. I know it's hard, but you need to do one thing at a time. My house is a no punishment zone. It's a no caning zone. So I feel like we are better in that sense. I feel like, but we are more informed, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that our parents were bad.
They did the best with what they
did the
had.
best with what they have. And I feel like because we're more informed and because there are more studies on like child rearing and child psychology, it is our duty to practice these things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, children are to a certain extent resilient, and there are coping mechanisms that you develop irrespective of the hurdles that you have. And I wonder for you, because in our school, I don't think it's controversial for me to say this. The top classes were normally dominated by a particular race. Our slogan for it, me and Ryan's, we have, I don't know whether Ryan wants to, down with Char Kway Teow, right? That's our slogan against the Chinese.
We
are down. We're taking down all the Chinese.
Oh
down
my gosh.
That's it. Anyway, it's from a previous episode, and
I just met
it's a t-shirt idea.
I just met up with my Marantian friends, by the way, like
wonderful.
last week. I'm still in touch with them.
Yeah, so but I mean, even for myself, I think I was the like only Indian boy in science stream, and I was in the second class. There were no other Indian boys.
Oh yeah.
You see what I had to go through? My hurdles.
Shobha was the only Indian in our class. So,
Yeah,
to give everybody context, Maranti was like the
first
top class,
yeah,
first class.
Right.
in
And then
our
Jati
year.
was the second class, which was, and we, Maranti and Jati were the only science stream
Yes.
classes. So so it was dominated by mostly our Chinese brothers and
Correct.
sisters.
Correct.
They had one Indian girl, Choba, in Maranti.
I know, but I was like one of 5 or 6 Malays.
Sure, yeah. And I think for Jati, I think it was me, Jane, and Roshni. I think it was just the 3 of us Indians.
Yeah.
We had more Malays in Jati lah, for sure. But yeah, but it was, so you being in Maranti, it would not have been easy to get that spot, right? But it seemed like even with your ADHD and even with your struggles, you always did academically very well. And I just wonder, did the ADHD in some ways help you?
No, it didn't.
So then what were there coping mechanisms that you developed to, like, were there like maybe your own self-taught learning methods that helped you to like thrive in school? Because I do know that there are many who kind of fail out of school, institutionalized, like education system, but it's not because like they lack the,
Yeah.
but it's more like the system just doesn't,
Doesn't suit them.
it's not tailored for them.
Yeah.
So, but I wonder how you managed to thrive in that kind of
No, that's a
situation.
good question. Okay, I'm trying to dig up child. It's time to open up child trauma, guys.
Let's dive deep. Let's start off and let's revisit all the pain.
Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie, and I say this with like good light, because when I reflect back, it's with good intentions. Of course, I had family pressure. I'm an Asian guy, so of course my parents expected me to do well. So number one was always that failure was not an option for me in the family. And both my mom and dad were also overachievers. Like my mom is an Oxford grad in maths, right? Like,
Sure.
so you can imagine what math class with her was like. And again, I'm saying this not to put her in a bad light. It was, when I look back, it's kind of funny that she was so frustrated with me, because I was a very artsy social science kind of girl. I didn't like math at all. Yeah, okay, I scored A for math, yes, but I never liked it. It was probably like one of the most difficult subjects that I had to learn and master, because it just wasn't something that I was good at or something I had interest in. So yeah, family pressure and family background was one of them. And I think because I was also in the Meranti class where everybody was constantly studying, everybody was constantly checking each other's grades, it also became my like my life, like my lifestyle, my culture. And I go, oh, okay, this is something. And for me to fit in, I needed to talk about the same things as well, right?
So you're an ad for positive peer pressure.
You
didn't go through the negative peer pressure. You went through the positive peer pressure.
My negative peer pressure came in uni, but that's another story.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We're going to go through every stage of life and examine every area.
No, but I would relatively say that despite the pressure that I had, both at home and in school, it was always a positive thing when it came to my academics. It was always like, okay, Puteri, I know you're not good at this part of physics. It's okay, I can teach you. Those were the kind of sentiments that I had in Meranti.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
I know like a lot of people hate Merantians because we seem like, oh, we're the top class or kita sombong ke apa. But no, but everybody in Meranti nobody was ever like stingy with their knowledge. I've always had a good experience with them. We were always able to make fun of each other, but also able to still help each other.
Sure.
Right. So that was a good environment for me. And that's why I like to tell people that I grew up with Chinese culture because 90% of them were Chinese, right? Yeah. So like 95% of them were Chinese. And a lot of people ask me whether I went to boarding school ke tak. But it did feel like that because you go to school with them. And then and after school will be co-curriculum with the same people. And then after co-curriculum will be, before that even, we play at the park.
Sure.
You know, I would like ride my bicycle to Yonghing's house and she would do the same. And we would just like, because the Bandar Sri Damansara was not like a big place.
Yeah.
So we would play basketball with each other or badminton with each other or football. I played football with Shahiro and everything, you know.
I'm getting some flashbacks now.
Yeah. And then tuition at night.
Right.
So that's all we see, and, you know. And so yeah, high school was good for me. It was great.
Yeah, for
despite
those,
the pressure.
if you haven't caught on, myself and Puteri were high school mates.
Yeah. We went to high school together. We were in the same debate team, guys.
We were in the same debate team. Can I just say that I loved our high school. I think
loved our
shout
high
out
school.
SMK Bandar Sri Damansara duo.
It was so healthy.
Yeah, because we had such a interesting mix of people.
Yes.
We had I think those who are like middle income. So we kind of like we all were in the same kind of like period of life and same kind of like background. But we also had like our friends who were living in like the low cost flats who were also coming to our school.
Yeah, and we were friends.
And we all were friends,
We never saw race.
Exactly.
We never saw income.
Yeah.
We all had the same goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we were competitive lah.
Sure. I think we were aware that there was like maybe class differences.
Correct. There was a segregation of like who scored high, which I completely disagree with, right? You should never segregate people based on who scored highest and who. And I think they stopped that, I hope.
Right. And those class segregation sometimes also reflected like the sort of economic background of the kids as well.
Was it?
I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that it wasn't that there were like, for our form, for example, it's not that there were very few Indians. It was that the Indians were all disproportionately at the last classes.
I remember that. I remember that. That was really sad.
And there was
really sad.
There was a big divide between myself and
No, that's true. That's
because
true.
they generally were Tamil speaking. And then they'll think that that I was stuck up, but it was just that
really?
I would think so. I'm just assuming. I'm assuming, but I for me it would be more like I just feel it's like embarrassing to you. All of you are talking Tamil, and I'm coming speaking to you in Bahasa.
Yeah,
and so there is a weird kind of like divide there. But that being said, irrespective of those kind of divides, I think everybody was friends.
Yeah, we were friends.
Yeah, and you were kind of like forced to, if you like, we were prefects, right? You'd have to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
You were not just stuck in class. Or for extracurricular activities, you would mix around. Whether it's like blue house, green house, whatever, right? You'll just have to mix with everyone. I think I kind of feel sad for this generation of Malaysians that are growing up, because I think that's becoming less and less an option.
For sure.
Because private schools. And
for sure.
So it's really sad because now it seems like you're divided according to your economic background in terms of your school choice. If your parents are of a particular salary bracket, all of you are going to one school.
For sure, yeah.
And so I feel it's kind of like a shame, right?
It is. And as a mom, I can say this. Oh, I can say that too. I can say this what I'm about to say. A lot of Sekolah Kebangsaan kids are now mostly Malays. Most of the Chinese are now in SJKC.
Sure.
I'm going to be very honest. I'm not sure most of the Indians.
They've stopped going to school. They've stopped going to school.
Ezra's class has about 3 Indians.
Right.
Where the rest? I don't know where. Probably international school. And I think that's great, guys. That's progress. No, I'm going to be... No, I honestly don't know, guys. I'm like the worst person. But yeah, but most of the people who go to SK are Malays.
Yeah.
And I find that very sad. And I only have there's only one Chinese kid in Ezra's class,
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, and it's like even us growing up, there were like weird kind of like racial undertones. Yeah, as much as we were all like friends and played together, but of course there were racial divides to a certain extent. And I feel like it's just gonna, if you're not forced to mix together, it's just gonna get worse.
No, that's so true.
You're gonna continue to be in like your echo chambers.
That's so true.
I mean, because then one of the problems is we tend to reduce someone to their identity. But when you actually talk to someone, then you realize that there are some,
we have the same problem.
Yeah, the humanness of all of us comes out, right?
Yeah.
And that's why like our group also, it's like even our close group of friends who kind of encompass different, like, we have Merantians and Jatians and all, right?
Yeah.
And we are different races and different religious beliefs, but we still like are friends.
Yeah, we played board games together. We played football together.
Yeah.
We read the same books.
Even as we age, right? You guys have come over to my house for Christmas with your kids, and we've gone over for Raya. We've gone for weddings, and it's been wonderful.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And I really pray that my kid gets the experience too. I just can't see that happening.
The only problem is within our knit of friends, all the Malays have gotten married and have had kids, and all the non-Malays have not gotten married and not have kids. None, if you think about it.
No, Eugene is married.
Okay.
Chiming is married.
Okay, fine. Any kids?
Eugene has a kid.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but like our group, not the Merantians.
Fern is married. What the heck?
No, I'm talking about not just the Merantians. I'm talking about like our, Jeremy, Shobha, Jane, Raihan, Putri, Devi, that group, right?
Okay, fair. No, that's a fair comment.
So my thinking is I planned it out such that my kids will hang out with your grandkids. That's my plan.
Oh my God.
That's my plan.
Roeshan!
I'm thinking that'll be just nice.
Do you know I still want kids though?
You want more?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, then we still have a chance. Our kids,
We still
our kids still can be friends.
We can still have play dates.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like your experience in high school didn't really match up in uni.
It did not.
Yeah. How did it turn? Because I mean, yeah. If I remember, you started out in UITM, right?
Yeah.
Then you went to UM.
UM.
But UM, I mean, it's pretty mixed.
Oh no, but it's a mix and a different ball game.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah.
So you know when I said like, I know a few people like hate Merantians, but I say that jokingly.
Sure.
Nobody has ever like
No
tried
lah.
to do bad. Yeah, I know like nobody.
Not lah.
Yeah, it's always like Merantians scored
It's
again.
more like a sibling rivalry.
Correct. It's more like sibling rivalry between Merantians and Jatians, and there was never really any true evil intention or bad intention.
Yeah.
And then I went to uni, and I went like, God, what is up with the world? So I feel like Bandar Sri Damansara, or the school that at least that we went to, was a really nice pink protective bubble that popped the moment I went to uni. So in UITM, it was a full Malay, right?
Sure.
And I would think like, race is just a color, right? Or race is just a category. What's the difference? But I got a culture shock so I accidentally got a 4.0. Right?
Accidentally
I
got a 4.0.
accidentally got a 4.0 in the first semester because I was so used to studying the way Merantian study.
Yeah.
Right? And so I did the same thing lah
Yeah.
in UITM. And I accidentally got a 4.0 and I went and I was the only one who got a 4.0 in the whole batch. And then that's when I saw the hate. I saw
In UITM.
in UITM.
Right.
There were a bunch of girls that cornered me in the bathroom and they went like, kau ingat kau pandai sangat ke kau dapat 4.0? And I went like,
Damn.
okay, girls, I'm not trying to attack anybody. And that was when I realized like, people get offended by your achievements. And I also got at that point in time, I didn't wear my tudong tau. And they saw me as this liberal, outspoken, thinks she's too smart for everybody, kind of like that's the vibe that I get. And I was like, I think at one point I was ostracized.
Right.
And like, so the group of girls that I used to hang out with just like left and just like didn't want to have lunch with me or didn't want to hang out with me. And I went like, okay. And those moments where you want to sit on a table and everybody gets up and leaves. So I would have that like in a room, and then nobody would want to be groups with me, members with me.
That's the funny thing that I think people don't understand. Right? It's easy for us to justify when they don't look like us. So when someone doesn't look like us, right, we can say that they're the exception, and it's a way for us to kind of like not be accountable.
Yeah,
right?
justify that.
Yeah, instead of looking at like how I'm not doing or how I need to improve, I say no, it's not me, it's that they are doing something wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But when it becomes someone that looks similar to us, or we are in the same kind of bracket, then it's like, hey, what's going on here? And like you said, then they cut you out.
And they just nitpick like, dia tak pakai tudung. Or they nitpick like, dia belagak. And I go like, you're just so okay. But of course I'm 34, guys. I self-reflect, and of course I don't feel bitter and I don't hate any of them. I look back and I go, they must have had their own problems, like with their self-esteem or whatever, and they're just like projecting and lashing out. So it's okay.
As the great philosopher once said, haters gonna hate.
Okay, guys, I forgive you if you're watching this. It's fine.
It really feels like it's funny because you've written a book, but it really feels like at that part of your life, it sounds like a YA novel kind of thing, right?
I didn't think it was a YA novel. I cried a lot. Yeah, I guess. It felt like I guess it was kind of my self-discovery phase where I realized, I can't really mix with people. I thought I was an extrovert. I thought I was good with mixing with people, and then turns out I don't. So
did it get better when you went to UM?
No.
Right.
So, and I thought, so I then transferred to UM because it was just closer to home. It was closer to BSD. So it's like 15 minutes to Bandar Sri Damansara.
But also because you did well enough to be able to transfer to UM, I suppose.
I don't know. I didn't think about that, but I guess so. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You accidentally transferred to UM, just like how you accidentally got the 4.0 in UITM.
I accidentally got a 4.0 in the second semester too.
Right. Yeah. String of accidents.
And then I went to UM. I guess also because I was told and I was informed. I'm not saying this is a fact for all the UITM lovers. I loved my UITM days despite the bullying. I still love what I learned there. But I went to UM just to get a different environment and everything. It was a different environment. So there were multiple races, but they also came from very, very different backgrounds. So I met some Chinese people who came from places where they never speak English or Malay. They are like the first people who are going to uni. Right. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I also met some really, really racist Chinese people who go like, oh, you're a Malay, you can't read these notes. These notes are only for Chinese people.
Like they actually say that?
They actually say that.
Oh, that's great.
I've met people who were hiding library books okay, back then, guys, once upon a time, there was no ChatGPT.
Yeah, pre-AI, a lifetime ago.
AI.
There was no AI and there was no ways.
And for a law student, if you were given an assignment, you need to go to the library and open books, like physical books. That's the only place where you're going to get your answers and your case law, like the descriptions and everything, or the facts. And sometimes I would go to the library and the books were not there, right? And then I find out that there are certain seniors or certain groups of people that hate them for certain races. And I went, oh, okay, this is not fun at all. I had friends in UM. I had really good friends. Shout out to Nadim. Shout out to Ijlal. But apart from, and shout out to Uyaina, I think those are like my 3 closest friends. Oh, and Ajim and Azba. I think they were all very nice. So I had like probably like 5 to 6 good friends. But most of the time I was really alone because I found comfort and probably solace in the books that I was reading. Right. I loved law. So I really, really loved the quietness of the library. It was a sanctuary for me. And then I accidentally achieved things again. And then that got me more haters. So no, my life in UM was like... My life in UM was mostly with Nadim.
But isn't it so sad that you've been conditioned to say that you accidentally achieved all these things? You should claim it. You should claim it.
I wasn't trying to. I just went like, oh, I'm bored. I'm like, this is too easy. I want to do moots now, moot competition. Moot competition is like debate for lawyers, guys.
Yeah, it's a way more boring version of debates, like in my opinion.
Yeah, it was fun for me. Right. So me and Nadim... So Nadim was my Roeshan in uni, right? So me and Nadim would join all the moot competitions and we would win and everything. And yeah, we enjoyed it. But because of our moot schedule, I was always class, library. I would be in the library till about 11 p.m. at night. Sampai dia tutup. The librarian is my friend already at that time. Nama dia Alif. Shout out to Alif. Alif would like, Puteri, I'm going to close the lights. I'm turning off the lights now. We're going to close the door. And I'm like, okay. And I would go back alone. Or Nadim would send me home.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right.
Sounds sad, right?
So what else did you accidentally achieve during UM? So you moot. How well did you do in your moot competitions?
Well, very well.
Claim it, girl. Claim it.
I mean, I represented Malaysia.
Nice.
It was fun. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess the theme of your question is, yeah, I was a high achiever. I was conditioned to be a high achiever.
And so from up to you graduating UM, did things change, or that was just a common thread throughout your entire UM stint?
When you say common thread, is what, like achievement part or the loneliness?
The loneliness part. We always talk about the negative stuff.
Yeah, no. Yeah, up till today, I think I have friends, but my really, really close friends still remain like 2 or 3 from UITM. Of course, my high school friends, and that's it, guys. That's sad.
Yeah, so how do you think those experiences in UITM and UM shaped you? Is that part of the... Do you think that was the start of the Jade jading? That's not the right word. Being a little bit jaded, or that came later?
No, I think it's a lot of acceptance. I had to learn. I had to learn the hard way that not everybody is your friend, right? And I had to learn. So okay, you know the saying when they say you only know your friend when you need help or when you're down, right? So for me, it's the complete opposite. I only know who my friends are when I'm high and I'm achieving things.
Right.
Because when I'm high and achieving things, that's when I realize like a lot of people don't want to associate with me because it makes them uncomfortable, I think, and it makes them, I don't know, maybe it just triggers certain things in their childhood or whatever. And I realized that was a common theme in my life. The people who continued to stay in my life were the people who were there and who never treated me differently when I'm achieving things.
Who celebrated your
Yeah,
achievements.
they didn't even celebrate. They just know that, oh, it's a Puteri thing. And I'm
Right.
fine with that, you know. And I hope people know that a lot of high achievers, they achieve not to hurt you or not to hurt people. It's because they've always just been conditioned to be that way. And that's why I guess I always use the word accident. It's just like, that's always been our bar. And you can argue that's actually pretty sad and sick because it's like, what at one point I did question, who am I without my achievement?
Right.
And I couldn't answer it. Yeah. And then I think that was in 2023. So like something really bad happened to me in 2023. And for me, it was like a giant failure because I went like, oh, I couldn't hold this. How do I say this in like the PC kind of way?
Don't have to be PC.
Okay,
Clip it and let it go viral.
No, I don't want to go viral for this. Like, I've always seen like
Ryan,
everything
get
is
ready. Timestamp this.
No, I couldn't hold a relationship together like with this individual, right? And it was a relationship I've had with this individual for a very long time. And no matter what I did and no matter how hard I tried, like this relationship was just never meant to be. And I took it as a big failure. And that was when I realized like, oh, who am I as a person? Because now the whole world knows that I failed, right? And I went, and that really started the story with Mona Ali. That was like really like the starting spark because it made me question my self-worth. It made me question my identity and what it is that fuels me every day, because I've been living like 32 years defining myself with a girl who does straight A's, who achieves, who's smart. But then at the moment there's a big failure, all of that suddenly just disappears and you go, am I really smart? Am I really a good achiever, you know? And yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You, in some ways, your coping mechanism growing up was to succeed.
Oh my God, yes, yeah.
And what happened was,
place.
so that became your way of dealing with the world.
Oh, for sure,
right?
yeah.
And when you lost this big relationship in your life, for the first time, you had to move away from your coping mechanism.
Yeah,
And
because my coping mechanism was no longer true, right?
you couldn't, right?
It's
like
failure.
when in a way it's a mini death, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's like when you lose a parent, for example,
Yeah.
you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You can't get them back.
Yeah.
And so then for the first time you have to contend with something that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or even for some people losing a job,
Yeah.
that can also be, so
Yeah.
these can be monumental.
Like canon events.
Exactly. And it can define you moving forward, because you can either integrate it and you become a fuller person, or you can get overwhelmed by it and it defines you and it sticks with you and you become less of a person, in fact,
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's a process.
What do you think helped you navigate that process? Because this is like, in what you're telling me is something like the death of your entire psyche in a way.
Sure, yeah. My whole identity, guys.
And so how did what was that rebuilding? How did it look like? Because I'm sure that there may be someone who's listening who's going through that. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Right? So what helped you?
I think the first thing that I think everybody, including me, that I had to face was probably the emotions, because I liked achieving because I liked feeling great and I like feeling proud of myself. But when you're not achieving and you're just like, you're looking at your failure, right? You have to deal with the shame, the guilt, the sadness, the anguish. And God was kind. It's very hard to feel that when you're a mother of two. So I felt all of that when I got hospitalized. So I was in like a 4-wall bedroom alone. And that was when I just got forced to me to feel all of that failure, right? The feeling of failure, guys, is a very humbling experience because you suddenly realize that you were never in control of anything in your life. And yeah, of course. I think that's like the first step of the process. And underneath all that failure, there was also, I'm not gonna lie, a feeling of like, you can't give up. This can't just be the rest of your life. You're gonna stay down for the rest of your life. And it was also from a mother's perspective, I went like, I can't have my kid do this. I can't have my kid face this too. I can't have my kid go through life achieving and having that because my first son Ezra is that he loves to achieve. He loves getting gold stars. He and I went like, I can't have him.
It's probably his coping mechanism as well.
It's probably his coping mechanism as well. And I don't blame him. Look at the system, right? It's really hard now. And I couldn't have my kid go through what I was going through. And I thought to myself, okay, relationships are not within my control. Whether or not I get gold trophies is not within my control. And I really had to sit back and go, what is then within my control? What can I do about myself now? And then that was when I realized that the only thing that I can do is probably just try to make effort to change, right? I can't change the education system, of course. I'm not like the minister or whatever. But I can I look back at my tool set. True. I mean, yeah, I achieved a lot and I also failed a lot, but I still had the tool sets, right? I didn't lose that. And I was like, okay, what am I good at? I'm good at writing. Right. Okay. What can I do to change my circumstance and my kids' circumstances with my writing? And that was when I thought, okay, I think I can write a book. I think I can write a story. And then through all the emotions, it was a cathartic experience, of course. Or Mona Ali just started inventing herself in me in that hospital room.
I wonder, do you still look back at those like canon events in your life and still look at it like a failure? Do you still feel like it's a failure, like the loss of a relationship or whatever, right?
No, when I look back now, I realize that I had to go through that to evolve. It was like a Pokemon, right? I had to evolve to the next stage. I needed to realize that all the best that I can do is my best.
Right.
Right? And the rest I need to let go.
Yeah.
Right? And just let God.
Yeah. And I'm also curious, you're a devout Muslim. How did God factor or play in that whole journey?
Oh, God played a lot. Let me try to choose my words carefully.
I don't think God's going to cancel you.
It's not that. I'm trying not to get defamed. God made it easier. Does that make sense? Okay, so I had the intention of changing myself and changing my kids' future and the future generations' future so that they don't end up like me. And I told myself, this is the purest intentions. This is the purest intention of anything that I've ever had to do, I sometimes enter mood competitions just to win a trophy. That's not a pure intention. There's not much goodness in that. But this is probably like the purest intention I've ever had. And I prayed a lot. I prayed to God going, God, this is my intention. I want to write this to contribute to making this world a better place, which is, I know what you want in this world, And I actually had this conversation with God where I went like, I know this is my purpose in life. I know when I look back in my life, I picked up writing, I picked up debating, I picked up storytelling, I picked up poetry, I picked up literature, I picked up law, and it all led me to this path where I went like, this is why I was put on this earth. And I asked God, please assist me. And I say conversation because he answered and responded like really easily after that. I finished the first draft in about less than a month. Well, to be fair, I was hospitalized and like quarantined for like almost that same period. So I completed the first draft within that month and it just came out so easily. The next stage was editing, and my dad volunteered like easily, and my best friend Adila also volunteered easily. After that was finding a publisher, which is every author's difficult mountain to or hurdle to climb, right? I found one almost instantly. Right. And in fact, I didn't even find her. I reached out to a friend, Dina Zaman. Shout out to you, Dina Zaman, and Auntie Dina for me. And she introduced me to one of the people who worked with Gerak Budaya. And then they read Daphne. Her name is Daphne. And Daphne read my draft. And she went like, did this really happen? And I was like, yeah, it happened like throughout uni. The things that happened in this book happened throughout uni. Not the murder, okay, guys? It's a murder mystery, but not the murder. But the things that were discussed in the book and the things that happened to Mona in the book happened to me in uni. Or I witnessed my peers doing it in uni. The sufferings were all based on experience that I had with my friends or what my friends were going through. And she got the shock of her life because she's like, nobody ever talks about this. And it's like, I know. Because nobody wants to talk about it. And I told her, like, I want to talk about it and I hope you can publish it. And next thing I knew, I got published.
Right.
So God responded accordingly. And that's why I always say I did have a conversation with God because, you know,
the doors were open.
The doors were open. I asked and he responded. If he had been a bad idea, I think he would have. And that was kind of the request I told God. I said, if this was meant for me, and if this is good for me and the world, make it easy. But if this is not, then don't let it get published. If I'm going to end up in jail, don't let it published. Right? So, but he allowed it to get published.
Yeah. So, you know, I've known you for many years now. And I haven't read the entire book. But what I've read was quite surprising. Because I guess even though we are relatively close, we're not that close. We don't share our darkest, like all these things that you're talking about, UITM and I didn't know about it.
You didn't?
I didn't know you were struggling so much, you know.
You had to rescue me one day. I don't think you remember that. You, Alif, and Jeremy came to either UITM or UM and say like, I know you need cheering up, let's go out. And I'm like, yay.
Is it?
I think so. If I'm not mistaken.
Interesting. Yeah, but you know, I didn't know that you were struggling that much. And I guess like I've always maybe put you in, I've always thought that you're just someone who's really, it's true, you are very positive and bubbly and energetic and outgoing and extroverted. But I guess I saw the one dimension and not the rest. Yeah. But reading this book, I was surprised at how dark it was.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the language, some of the drug use, the things like that. Because it's a young adult book, but I appreciated the fact that this is probably what young people really go through.
Yeah.
And so it kind of like, now that you tell me a little bit about your background, I kind of understand what's gone into the book.
Yeah.
And so like, what do you think, what do you hope is the like big takeaway from this entire, from like a reader reading, what is the takeaway that you want for them?
I think readers need to understand that there's always a cost to everything. Right? So you see somebody who's high achieving and who gets all the grades, who's a high flyer, but you never see the cost. I think I'm sorry to be quoting Taylor Swift again, but she's so good.
She's a prophet. She's a modern prophet. She's a prophetess.
She said this. She said a lot of people are envious about where you are, but they're never envious about how you get there. And it's so true, because how people, the cost of it, of getting where you are, can be very dark. It can be very lonely. It's very depressing. And not many people are willing or can even stomach how to get there. So all they see is just like, oh, that's the glitz and glamour. And it's then easy to hate them. Go, oh my gosh, she's such a mean person. She still gets where she still gets where she is, you know? But you don't see the hard work that goes beyond it. You don't see the pressure. You don't see the pressure she puts on herself, the invisible bars and thresholds that she tries to meet every day, and of course, like the lonely nights, the nights where a lot of high achievers cry behind closed bathroom doors, the mental health issues. So,
Yeah, I think humans are not meant to be such specialists.
Oh, no.
I'm glad that the sort of 996 cultures, there's some sort of pushback. Because it was very common when we were growing up to like say sacrifice blood. Sleep is for the weak, for example.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember that.
And again, when you talk about the toll,
Yeah.
right? It's not just I'm gonna cut out my sleep, and it's about willpower.
Yeah.
There's a cost that has to be paid.
Yeah.
And even if you don't know it, your body pays that cost.
And you may not pay that cost now. You will pay that cost like 10 years down the line when you're at the therapist's office, you know?
Or when your body's like breaking down, because sleep is like super
Correct.
important, right?
Correct.
And even when we were growing up, comparisons were already being made. I knew a lot of young girls or girls about my age who were struggling with like body dysmorphia. Even it's kind of like when the whole the cutting was going on, and all that.
Roeshan, there were people in our like peers in like Merantians and Jatians who were on antidepressants, and I only knew that like 20 years later. Yeah, when I wrote this book and they told me like, did you know I was on Zoloft? And I went like, what? Like, how long? Actually, I was on Zoloft for the whole of Form 5, and I went like, I did. That's the thing, right? You just don't see all these things.
I was taking Brandon's chicken essence. I thought you should know that about me. But that's crazy. That's really, really crazy.
It is.
I wouldn't.
You're 17.
Yeah, that's mad. That's really crazy. And I just wonder. I think now, in terms of like at least the body dysmorphia and all of that, I think boys are also being exposed to that now. And in general, boys and girls now, the younger kids, I mean, I can only imagine being exposed to like social media so young.
Yeah.
And the comparisons that you're like, that's what you're talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
you see just one part of it, you don't see everything else, right? You see all these beautiful girls and you see all these good looking guys who are, taking a very specific snapshot with very particular lighting, and they represent it like that's them all the time, when most of the time that's not realistic.
No.
Like I was even watching a video many years ago, I was watching a video about all the like hero actors, talking about how they get like jacked. And it's all of them, all of them say how it's just so
unhealthy. Zac Efron, I think, released a statement about how unhealthy it was to maintain that body.
Yeah, because he said it was like blending chicken and just drinking it like a smoothie because he was so sick of eating chicken. And it's so unrealistic. And they have to dehydrate themselves before they will not drink water for one day so that the muscles really pop or the veins really pop. So, but for someone like
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So for a guy watching that, they look at it and they're like, that's what I want to be. And not knowing that also many of these guys are on steroids, and things like that, right? And so I think this book is really good as well, and this conversation about cost is really important because I feel like young people have to understand that the cost is there.
Yeah, and it depends on, I guess some people are willing to take it, but you need to know the cost. Some people just do it without knowing the cost. They'll only know the cost 10, 20 years down the line.
Yeah. Like in a previous episode, I mean, it's a bit repetitive, but I was telling a guest how I had started to rewatch Friends.
Okay.
And so because I'm rewatching Friends, so like I'm rewatching also content about the actors.
Okay.
And I don't know, have you watched Friends before?
Yeah.
So like Chandler, Matthew Perry, he had a drug addiction. Yeah. A very serious drug addiction.
Correct.
And even though he wrote a book and he was in recovery,
Yeah.
eventually he died in addiction.
Yeah.
But he wrote in the book about how when he was auditioning for Friends,
Okay.
he told God, right? He told God, just make me famous. I'll take anything else.
I didn't know
I'll
he
take
said that.
everything else,
Oh,
but just make me
gosh.
famous. That's all I want. And so he says that, God he's not really a believer, but he said metaphorically, God gave him that. God gave him like the fame. He was one of the most famous people ever.
Yeah.
And also God gave him everything else that
Oh,
came with that,
gosh.
which was the addiction and which was all of it, right? Until it led, unfortunately, to his death. And I just wonder, it's like so many young people are basing what they want their lives to look like on like fake stuff.
That's true. No, that's true.
And do you worry about that? Do you worry for your children? And
Yes.
what do you think, or how are you navigating that to like help them just find, the path for them?
No, that's such a good question. Okay. So my first kid is 7.
Mm.
Okay. His classmates. So I'm friends with some parents, right, in the school where he goes to. And there's kind of this culture growing about. I don't know when it started, but there's this culture growing about how kids now, even at 7, they need to fulfill like 5 things in their curriculum, which is like leadership. And I was like, how is a 7-year-old supposed to? And they're like, oh, you send him for leadership camps or like make him a prefect or whatever. And then academics, so he has to be the top scorer. Sport, so he has to take one sport. Arts, he has to learn one musical instrument or drama. And what was the 5th one? Volunteerism. He has to take part, like to save the turtles or whatever. And I was listening to this, I went like, I don't feel those 5 things, but they're saying like, oh no, this is something that you need because that's what high schools look at, that's what employers look at. I'm like, he's 7, And so I know some of his peers who have one musical instrument class, one sport, one arts class, one leadership class, and one volunteerism thing that they have to do on a weekly basis. And I know kids who start their day at 7 and end at 11. I know kids who go to school at 7, and because it's a full day thing, it ends at around 12, and then 12 to 3 would be like class agama, and then 3 to 5 would be like extracurricular, and then 5 to 9 would be tuition, and then 9 to 10 will be mengaji. And I'm going like, you guys do know they're 7 and they need like 10 hours of sleep a day, and the kids are complaining that they're tired.
Yeah.
And it's a very hard thing to see them do it. But then again, they're not my kids and I cannot save them. And that was also what inspired me to write that, because I feel very sad for this generation that's like burnt out.
You know what's a physical illustration of this?
What?
Remember when we were growing up and we used to carry, like when we were like maybe 8, 9 years old, we used to carry the huge bags.
Yeah, we did.
With like the entire week's worth of textbooks.
Yes. It didn't occur to them that
the bags were like twice, that was like half your body weight, right?
Yeah.
And we now know that it caused a lot of
back problems
and also stunting growth. It stunted growth.
I'm 100% sure it did.
And I feel like it's a very good physical illustration of something that can happen on the interior. When you put on too much on a child, you're going to stunt one area of
I'm 100% sure some of these kids are going to end up in therapy one way or another, you know. I'm balancing it with my kid. It's very hard, but I always tell him like, okay, he does need to do one sport live. No, he's always doing gaming.
Sure.
So I just signed him up for skateboarding, I think, recently. And I think he likes chess. So he's in chess and skateboarding now. That's it. Yeah. It's also a cost issue. One class is about like 300 to 400 ringgit a month. I don't have that kind of money. Authors don't make that kind of money. But yeah, so...
But corporate ladies do lah.
Corporate ladies also have a lot of responsibilities, guys. So, but yeah, no, I try my best not to pressure him too much. I hope I'm not pressuring him too. He still has a lot of fun. Yeah. I think
that's probably the most important thing.
That's the important thing. He needs to have a fun.
They have to want to do it.
Yeah.
I guess. Because otherwise it's going to be, kids just have to be kids lah. You have to allow them to be.
Correct. So like, things like he wants a birthday party at KFC. I was like, oh God. Yeah, that's a,
What an interesting choice.
you need that. I
It's a
think.
very Malay child.
Is it?
I never.
Do Chinese kids not do their birthday parties? I'm looking at Ryan now.
Right?
Do
Have
you
you done a
not?
KFC
Do you
party?
not want a KFC birthday party?
Yeah, we've never. I mean,
Oh.
for me growing up, maybe it was A&W.
He had A&W last year.
All right, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so he's going through
At
all the
least-
franchises now.
At least go Texas chicken. KFC is a bit
There's no
old.
Texas. There's no. You can't do birthday parties at Texas Chicken.
Oh, that's a marketing problem on
It
Texas
is.
chicken.
Texas
side.
Chicken.
Come on, man.
Please.
Sponsor this podcast. Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Has your and you being a mom, do you feel at any points in this book you thought to yourself, like, what if they read this book? Were you writing any part of it? Like, did you censor yourself because, oh, I don't want him to or her to read that one day?
No, I want them to read all the darkest parts. I
so-
want my kids to swallow whatever reality that is.
So, were there any parts in the book where when you were writing, you were thinking of them reading it?
Not specifically. No, I was just thinking of being authentic and honest about my experiences and putting it in a fiction style. I wasn't. So a lot of people have asked me this too. They were like, "Weren't you worried that people would say this and that?" And that's why I guess I'm lonely and I don't have a lot of friends. I've never been a type of person who cared about what other people thought of me.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I have always obliviously, and I really mean that, right? Obliviously lived life in the way that I feel is authentic and in the way that I feel like this is the truth. I'm very confident in whatever truth I say. Maybe at that point, and I say this bearing in mind that it can change. But whatever it is that I believe is the truth at a time, I will do it and I will live it. That's just the kind of person that I am. Yeah.
There's one sensitive thing that I need to talk to you about.
Oh no.
Involves this book.
Oh no, what?
Well,
What? No, I know
Well.
where this is going. Oh no.
there's a personal gripe.
It's a.
I think to be fair, you've been really vulnerable and I should be vulnerable now.
I already told you, Roeshan, you're going to be a villain in one of the books.
It's just, I just want to bring up the fact that apparently a lot of our juniors thought that I was the bad character.
I know. A lot of.
A lot of them thought that I was the murderer.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's not the murderer yet. Okay. He
Yeah,
will be
one day,
a murderer.
one day.
And obviously, as a very informed lawyer and author, I studio minds a lot of the characters. I think it's like close to impossible for you guys to even identify who the villain was supposed to be, who the main character is supposed to be, who the best friends are. So
Yeah. I'm just
I'm
curious.
keeping it to my grave.
I'm just curious because we all have these perceptions of who you were, right? And I look back when I was in high school and I don't know, man. I was a bit of a weirdo. I think I was
Yeah.
like,
What? This is new?
I don't know. I mean, introspect because, like, I mean, maybe I was a bit, I don't know. I was too gung ho on being on the prefect stuff, and maybe I was like, like,
No, but that's discussed in the book, though,
Right.
Roeshan.
Yeah.
You can see that as kids, being a prefect was power.
right,
And
yeah.
that's why, and that was probably our first exposure to
Yeah,
abuse
yeah.
of power.
Yeah, 100%. I look back and I both cringe and at the same time I'm happy that I went through that because it defined my leadership style later moving forward.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Because once you do it, and I've seen this with, like, I work in church with a lot of young people, and I've also seen this with them where when they first take on leadership roles, they're really gung ho. They are like shouting at other
Yeah.
younger, their juniors.
power.
They shout at the juniors and like not remembering that just last year they were in the exact
Yeah.
same position.
yeah,
And I've also seen that in practice where junior lawyers complain about their seniors or their bosses,
yeah,
but as we all grow together and we take on those senior roles, we treat our juniors the same way.
I don't. I'm a very good
You've broken the
boss.
cycle.
I would like look mine, Mira. Have I broken the cycle?
You've broken the trauma cycle. I hope so. But like I think for people who, because not everyone is active in extracurricular activities, and
Yeah.
so when you get into that role of leadership, I think there's something that it just happens, like you say. So I'm kind of grateful, but at the same time I cringe and like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we learned politics.
So I wonder whether the younger ones looked at me like I was like a douchebag or something like that.
No, they all I'm trying to
You don't
describe
look.
this.
You
the
don't have to
best
be
way.
PC when it comes to me.
No, it's not. I just don't want to spoil the ending
okay,
or the book
okay,
for
okay,
the
okay.
people who haven't read the book.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our juniors thought it was you because the way the murderer that was revealed at the end was very intelligent.
Right.
Was very he knew his way around people. He or she knew his way around people.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that kind of reflects you. You are very capable and smart, and like you knew your way around people.
I hope so.
And I see that in a positive light.
What are your memories of me in high school? I'm curious.
I think you were always fun. You were always trying to make the group laugh.
No,
right?
that hasn't
And
changed.
I think you are a good leader.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I think you knew you had a vision. I think you were always a person with vision.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, Roeshan, we get your vision, but can we go back? We have a budget. That kind of thing. Or like, Roeshan, we still have to do the morning roll call and go down, come down, you know. But it's fine. We were high school. We were in high school.
Yeah.
We were kids.
And do you ever look back at high school and cringe?
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
Guys that you dated in high school.
I didn't know this was this kind of this is the kind of podcast that I was entering into.
Yeah. It's a spill the tea.
No, you know, I think if I can reveal all this. I'm really trying hard to see if I can get sued. Look,
we are legally trained. As long as it's an opinion.
No.
As long as it's an opinion, it's fine.
You know, Puteri.
Don't be afraid lah. Don't worry.
You know, it's funny because I was just talking about this with our other debater friend.
Sure.
It's so funny that it took me 34 years to realize that at the end of the day, right? And I guess this circles back to what you were say. I still feel like a kid. But I guess at the root cause of it, I'm still the root core of myself though. I'm still that BSD girl. Does that make sense? But just more mature.
100%. Yeah. I feel the same way.
There's so many things I need to PC. I still hang out with the same people. I still have the same nerdy interests. I still game. That all started when I was in BSD. You know, I started gaming. Even the people I date kind of remains the same. So, oh no!
I think I get what you're saying. Merantian like lah.
Sure.
This is so funny.
This is so unhinged.
We need to get like a Patreon and where we have like, people have to subscribe for like the uncensored version.
Yeah, I think so too. And yeah, the jokes are still the same. I'm still the literature girl.
Yeah.
I like literature in high school. I'm still the literature writer girl. In high school. Yeah. So at the root core of it, I'm still the same girl.
There's I don't know whether you remember Jess. I think maybe I shouldn't say the name.
Write the name down somewhere.
If you have a paper and pen. Oh, phone. Can I just borrow your phone?
Text me.
I don't think I should say the name. Yeah, let me just get a phone from Ryan.
Text me.
Now I'm worried about being PC.
This is what happens when you put two lawyers in a podcast.
Do you remember? She was only in like Form 1, Form 2.
Dia Melayu ke Cina ke India?
Mix. But look more Malay lah.
I don't remember her. I swear to God, I don't remember her. Did you have a crush on her?
No. We were... I don't remember. I want to think we met when we were Form 1. And Form 1, I think we were in the 3rd class. So, I remember we really bonded. I think that time I wasn't too close to Jeremy yet. And we both were like book kind of like nerds.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
And at the time I was like really into Percy Jackson and things like that.
Such a nerd.
Harry Potter. Percy
Such
Jackson.
a nerd.
Anything with a dragon, I read it lah.
Loved it.
So
love this.
She was the same way. And I think we both felt like outcasts. Because I think we both were reading the same things. We both bit more on the philosophical side, I suppose. Again, I don't know which I
You didn't meet me. I was the other girl that was
Look,
reading murder books on the other
you
class.
were with the high flyers, all right?
But I was reading murder books.
Right. Yeah, but you were like one of the high flyers. You were with the cool kids. I was I was the goth version of BSD.
Wow.
That's how I felt like, at the very least. And so we really bonded over books, and we had a very interesting friendship.
Okay.
And it's really weird to say, but I really did feel at the time like a goth kind. I not outside, but inside.
Okay.
I really resonated with that. And so we became like really close. We had an interesting friendship. I gave her like my Percy Jackson books to read and all of that.
You're
Right?
romantic.
Oh dear. And she ended up leaving school like Form 2.
Oh, I didn't. Really can't remember.
She came back in like Form 4 or something like that. Anyway,
Okay.
I'll tell you a bit
I'ma
of the
Facebook
background.
this.
I'll
Okay.
tell you a little bit more of the background later, but she had gone through a lot of stuff also lah
Okay.
in her life. And when I first started the podcast, I think in terms of our worldviews, we have gone like in completely two different directions. Like, I think like for me, I've sort of left the restlessness of like youth, of feeling like not accepted, ostracized. I kind of like left that aside.
Yeah, we like grew
I
up.
became a prefect. I became part of the system. I just embraced it. Went power hungry and all of that. So I've gone in that direction. I studied law. You go to court. Shout at people, whatever. Right?
We're cool. You're cool now. Welcome to the cool club.
So I went that one direction. She went in a different direction.
What direction did she go to?
Like I think the system did her really dirty.
Oh no.
The system did her really dirty. So she's just like totally outside the system. And I think we are like both feminists in the sense that, okay, anyway, again PC lah. Anyway, she's just like really anti-establishment lah, right? But
okay, I get where you're going.
and I would never think that like like my podcast would resonate with her. I think we even did one episode. One of my cousin texted me and she just like kind of noted. We did like a episode on Women's International Day.
Okay.
And then it was me, Sam,
Okay.
and his friend Jeremy.
Okay.
And I think we went around saying, at the end we had a random conversation, and they said, since Women's International Day, why don't we go around just saying what we like about women?
Okay. All right.
One person said, I love women because of my mom.
Okay.
And one person said like they
Guys.
look good, or like just the most
Guys.
the most silliest, stupidest,
So patriarchal.
yeah, the most patriarchal, most chauvinistic. So I would never have expected that she listened, and not only did she listen, she shared one of the episodes on her like Facebook,
Okay.
and she wrote this really long post.
Don't joke.
Really long post talking about how she remembers us as kids.
Oh my god.
She
So
remembers me sharing Percy Jackson Sea of
cute.
Monsters
So
with her,
cute.
and how it made such a big difference in her
That's
life.
so cute.
And we had not spoken in years, right? And it was such a long post.
I love this.
And I was like so shocked because I had almost forgotten about that time in my life.
That is so cute.
And it straight away brought me back to this time where that young Roeshan Gomez, and realizing that, yeah, as much as the outer part has changed, I'm more confident and all that.
yeah.
But deep down, that Roeshan Gomez is
We're
still
both still nerds.
there. We are still
Yeah,
nerds.
we're still the nerds that go into murder. I still read my murder books and Harry Potter books.
I mean, come on. Who else? You wrote a book. I started a podcast. Like,
How nerdy can we be?
like what else? I think there's something in us that, that I guess we, from a young age, maybe we were looking for something else. We were looking for more. Like, okay.
Love that.
When this is something I've recently like realized, right?
Okay.
I was a real introvert when I was young, and I was very insecure, right? I was very insecure because my like brother was like the high achiever,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So a lot of people would compare us
Okay.
because we are really different in so many ways. Like, I'm bigger, he's smaller. I'm darker, he's fairer.
Yeah.
That's just on the outer, but even in terms of academics, music, worlds apart. And so growing up, I was always compared. And at a point in my life, I became super obsessed with books. So like if I would go to a family function, I'll sit one corner and read my book.
Oh my god, that's so antisocial, Roeshan.
Yeah, 100%, right?
So antisocial.
So everyone thought there was something, well, a lot of people thought maybe there was something wrong with me, right? And now years later, when I look back, I realized that was my coping mechanism because my books never judge me.
Yeah,
right? My
for
books,
sure.
the characters in my books, they never ask me like, what did I score in my exams?
No, I
what did I
understand.
do here? It was 100% pure acceptance, right? And I was with those characters. I grew up with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I was part of that friendship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
books was such an amazing way for me to find comfort and
Yeah.
shelter.
Yeah.
And I wonder for you, when it came to books, what was there a similar thing, or what was it just the creativity? What drew you to books? Because it didn't only stay in high school, right? You spoke about how in uni you found shelter in books and different type of books.
Yeah. Okay. So they fictional books and non-fictional books served as different functions for me. Fictional books was like they were my friends, you know? Yeah, my friends were murderers then because I kept reading murder books. No, murder books were fun. Were not just friends. Harry Potter were friends for me. Like Harry Potter books, the Dragon Age books, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah. I live.
Yeah.
He loved those books.
Yeah. And they were friends with me, but the murder books were like the exciting things in my life because I was always being a nerd. I could never get on a motorcycle back then or whatever. I could never do any of the exciting stuff because I was stuck in a nerdy life, right? And my parents were quite overprotective. And main board game kat rumah Alif pukul 10 malam pun I kena marah kan. So that was kind of my parents were sheltering me quite a lot. So thriller books were like the closest thing that was thrilling for me. But uni books, they were the only place where I couldn't get hurt. Does that make sense?
Sure.
They were telling, uni books were like, this is the law. This is how the law was used. It was so, I wouldn't say the word's not dry, but it was
order.
It was order. Everything made sense. The answers were there. And
predictable.
It was predictable and nobody hurt me in the library. Nobody could hurt me when I was mooting. Nobody could hurt me when I was getting A's in my papers.
Yeah.
So it was a friend at first and then it became something thrilling, but lama kelamaan I guess it became a coping mechanism, which was sad. But yeah, I've always found safety in books. And
it's soothing.
It is soothing. And I hope that the next generation could find that shelter in the same way. But that's probably my biggest struggle, if I could talk about that.
So my next question is, do you think that books are going to be relevant moving forward, where we kind of live in an age where the shorter the better and everyone's attention span is so short? Even for me right now, I struggle to.
Really?
I haven't picked up a book in. Yours is probably the first in a while. I haven't picked up a book in ages, and I just wonder for the younger generation. Do you think there's gonna be a renaissance back to books, or do you think that books are gonna change? Do you think?
I can say that I don't think there are lesser readers, right? I think the number of readers still remain the same. They're just reading different things. I know people, they always tell me I only have time to read threads.
Sure.
Or X. And I'm just, I get it. Or IG posts. Because it's the thing that can numb their brain. But the thing that used to numb our brains were books, right before sleep. So it's a different thing that they're reading.
But it's different, kind. One is having, the word that comes out, having steak versus having twisties,
Yeah, I understand. There's one just gives you a really fast shot of caffeine, and one is a soothing cup of tea kind of thing. Yeah, you get me. I recently came back from Pesta Buku Antarabangsa, and they had 1 million visitors in a weekend or in a day at one point. I went we actually have a large group of readers. And then I went to see what is it that they're actually reading, and this is the part that actually worries me. So I learned
Communist Manifesto.
No, not communism.
Jeremy will be excited.
No, but there are a huge number of people who like romance books now. I I don't know why. Is it because there's like a dying culture of dating? Is it because there's a dying culture of chivalry? I don't know. But these were selling out like hotcakes during Pesta Buku Antarabangsa. There were and there was also worrying books, right? So that there were like books about like, rape. There were books about like like people having wrongful sex, that kind of thing. And I went like, oh, they were selling. And I went like, oh,
local authors
local authors, Malay books, some more.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And I went like, oh, somebody should do a study on this because I don't know why the Gen Zs are picking these up.
Boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I thought that I could share that. Somebody please need to do some research on that. But yeah, less and less people are picking up fiction, or at least they're picking up fiction that's not in the clean genre. Is mine clean?
I think you're just saying that porn is on the rise.
Oh no, am I saying that? I think so. I guess I am.
I think you're describing the pornographic culture of our times.
But Roeshan, I'm not joking. When you open threads, you go like...
Yeah.
But having said that, there were some really good, like, of course, there are really good authors there during Pesta Buku Antarabangsa. So I'm just saying that these books are out in the market and they are still selling hotcakes. But of course, they're not the only books that sell like hotcakes. But
the stimulation also now is crazy. I mean, I just like I wondered to myself like how do you even monitor what your kids watch? Because like things are so accessible now. It's pretty crazy. Like I guess I hope they're better. I don't know. We growing up, it was the Wild West. There was no parental controls at all.
Yeah.
There was not. It was wild.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we learned things too quickly.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I would think that now there would be better parental controls.
Okay, in my case, I think, it is my opinion, they don't have time to watch TV. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have time to sit and watch a show. In fact, they have streaming now. They don't have like what we used to have. Like we could just turn on the TV and we apa yang ada kat situ we watch lah, right? Now they go like, oh, I don't want to watch that now. I have to do my homework first. And they don't really have time to do what we do. So that my kids are mostly like that lah. They're really tired. And I also do like no screen time Sundays.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because I notice that every time they watch TV these days, and because of the short attention, the short videos, and they're so flashy too. I don't get that. It disrupts their attention span. I told you Ezra has a bit of ADHD, so it makes his ADHD worse. No screen Sundays are the best.
He would. I mean, anyone with ADHD would love those like mini bites of like dope,
He used to watch that and I really didn't like it. So yeah, no, my kids are pretty traditional actually. They still play dolls, they still play race cars.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they still read. Ezra still reads. So he's the next, he's a hope for the next generation of readers.
He's the next author. He's gonna lead his generation back to the books.
I hope so. I feel like they need this next generation needs to learn to really like slow down.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just too fast paced. Their academics are too fast paced. They're learning like multiplication much faster than we did. They're learning condensation now.
At 7.
Yeah, 7, yeah. They're
That's
learning.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Orion's commenting. That's wild, right? That's
Yeah,
crazy, right?
it's
At
crazy.
7. At 7, learning condensation is.
They're learning abacus also at 7.
Okay, that's a bit wild. I thought
Abacus.
I
don't even know.
I didn't know the abacus made a comeback. When did the abacus make a comeback?
I had to re-teach myself abacus. I don't know. And okay lah, this is for the people who did Pendidikan Islam, right? This is my rough memory. Okay? I think I only did Jawi at like standard 5 or 6. I can't remember. But now you have to know Jawi at 7 because everything is in Jawi for Pendidikan Islam. And if you don't know Jawi at 7, you're not going to be able to answer your Pendidikan Islam.
Wow.
And I don't get that. And now everybody has to take a third language,
Oh,
everybody.
Wow.
So
What language? You mean like
it's
Mandarin
your
or
choice.
Tamil or you mean any?
Mandarin, Tamil or Arabic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I like that.
Good.
I
it's
like
good.
that.
But it's just like when you look at the curriculum, you go, it is really heavy. It's really, really heavy. And their BM is really hard now. Like at tahun satu, you need to know maksud tersirat, maksud tersurat over pantun. I couldn't do that at 7.
I can't do that now.
I know you can, Roeshan, but no, it's really hard. And that's also one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because I feel for them. They shouldn't be doing this. What are you trying to prove? No, really, like, what is the government trying to do? Yeah, so
it's like how do we
make them slow down?
Yeah, and how do we look at whether a child? How do we evaluate value? Right? Do we value someone based on their output? And I don't think that's a good metric. Right?
We were valued for our output that got us,
Yeah.
I think they should be valued for being a good person. And I know how cheesy that sounds, but they should value like, I was able to help a friend today. And I think that's an achievement.
Yeah.
I was able to calm down from being angry. I think that's an achievement, I think we should focus on teaching kids, regulating emotions, teamwork, friendship, all these things, you don't learn them, they're not as straightforward to learn anymore because everybody's too busy trying to beat each other.
Taking care of themselves, their health.
Yeah.
Because those things, they multiply as you grow older and they can have the worst kind of like impact, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, like for example, if you have someone who's doing like really well in the business realm, but if they're like not a nice person, it's going to affect a lot of people.
No, that's true.
It may not affect you directly, but you may have a kid one day who has to report to them. This can be in any realm. Like you could have like someone a local who's working as a security guard.
Yeah.
And if they're not principal,
they're not honest, if they don't have integrity, what's the point?
It can affect your life as well,
Correct.
right? They can always, arrange for, give, information to other people, get your house robbed.
Yeah.
So like integrity and those principles across the spectrum of society is super important.
Yeah, no. Correct. Yeah. But we're not prioritizing that, unfortunately. We're prioritizing putting 6-year-olds in Tahun Satu, which is, something that government has released recently, and I don't get it. We don't have enough infrastructure. Why are you opening a platform for parents to be more competitive? A lot of parents see that as an opportunity to put my kid ahead, when I saw that as like, that can be abused. Parents can put their kids ahead even when they're not ready, and that's just wrong.
Sometimes it feels like we flip-flop a lot. Like, sometimes there was syllabus in English and syllabus in Bahasa and syllabus in English, then mixed.
Yeah.
And even this thing about like jumping for, we did the jumping, we stopped the jumping. Now it seems like we are back to the spirit of the jumping in a way.
Yeah.
It's just weird sometimes.
Yeah, it's because I guess people or our leaders have never really prioritized the right thing. And that's why your policies will never be standardized, because you've never prioritized the right thing. You've prioritized like achievement, glory. I guess, it is glorious, right? To say like, oh, Malaysians scored this much, but you don't prioritize values. You don't prioritize producing good people.
Short-term thinking.
Yeah.
So this is a bit of a tangent, but just back to the book. For anyone who's listening, who's struggling with, like for example, drug abuse and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a message? Were you writing something for them as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest message would be drugs don't cure. They don't heal. They're like plasters that you put on like a leak, but lama kelamaan the leak will still come out. Drugs can feel good because they calm you, like Xanax, they calm you down, but it doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. If you ever really want to heal, you need to dig deep. You need to do a lot of the internal work. Therapy helps. Therapy may not be for everyone, but it did help for me. It helped me. It helped guide me do a lot of the internal work, and it made me realize that, my self-worth is not defined by achievements. It's defined by the good that I do and the effort that I put in. Those are not things that you can like pick up in a snap. Those are things that you have to pick up over years of therapy, over years of just rewiring every single thing that your parents or your ancestors have taught you, that's where the real work is. So when people say you need to do a lot of work to get better from your depression or to get better from your anxieties, it really is. But again, it's not hard work like you write an exam. It's a lot of hard work in here. It's a lot of crying. It's a lot of like, no, that's not right. It's not right. Focus actually what did your therapist teach you, and it's a lot of like neuroplasticity, right? So
There's a lot of stripping away of the ego, which can be really difficult.
correct. And I guess the first step would be to also admit that I need help.
Was it tough for you to choose to go to therapy, or was it something that came a bit easier to you?
I didn't have a choice. I think I was just like, oh my God, I need help. I don't know who I am right now. And I did go to my therapist, and she was like, it's okay. You are not who everybody says that you are. You are this. Let's try to work one by one. But it was tough because she made me answer a lot of questions where I had to dig up further treasure troves that I never wanted to open in my childhood. She made me like look back into a part of my childhood where I didn't even want to address, I didn't even want to talk about. But if I didn't do all those things, I wouldn't be where I am now. That's the real work. Like, and it just feels so icky to be reliant on antidepressants or all these anti-anxiety medications. It's just so icky because it does mess with your chemicals in your brain. It messes with your hormones and everything. So for me, I didn't like that icky feeling, and I really wanted to get better so that I could taper off some of the meds I was on. Yeah.
I had a friend who had, I think, was going to like a government, to a therapist, but a psychiatrist in a government hospital. And his experience was quite scary because, he was having a tough time. He went on medication. And when he went for his like subsequent checkups, the doctor was like, so how are you feeling? And he was like, I'm feeling much more regulated, feeling better. And I think I would like to like, I think I can slowly like taper off.
Yeah.
And then the doctor was like, no, if this is doing good for you, we should increase the dosage.
No, but that's the thing. I've met some really wacko psychiatrists and I've met some wacko therapists in Malaysia, okay?
Yeah.
Like the government really needs to relook at this because I know doctors in the like the psychology field and psychiatry field that have given out like Ritalin to people who didn't need Ritalin, who have given Xanax to people who don't need Xanax. And that's why, and that the book talks about this, right? The book talks about how it's so easy to get these meds, even as teenagers. And some of them can easily just like provide a free diagnosis just for you to get those meds. So you got to be very careful with the doctors that you choose to. Because especially your friend, that sounds so shady.
Yeah. And eventually he had to disregard his doctor's advice and taper off himself. And it's pretty crazy because I think ultimately, for most things, I think you want your the ideal situation would be not dependent on anything.
Yes, correct.
I mean, if you have a heart condition and you need to take a cholesterol tablet, that's fine. But the ideal situation is you not taking the cholesterol tablet at all.
And if anything, I think like my therapist friend told me this, shout out to Liana. She said meds help you to help facilitate the healing process. Does that make sense? Because if you're depressed, you can't think clearly.
It's a crutch.
Yeah, so you take the antidepressants for a while for the neuroplasticity to work. And after that, you taper it off. That's the whole purpose of it. It's not meant for you to rely on for the rest of your life.
It's like a nicotine patch.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Interesting. I think I don't know how much this is like studied or what, but I do think we may have like a really bad drug problem that we don't talk about.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things my publishers were like shocked with. They were like, is this true? And I'm like, dude, you have no idea how many people like were trading Ritalin in my class. They were like trading Xanax in my class. Because everybody was trying to cope with the pressure in one way or another, right? If it was not drugs, it was cigarettes. If it was not cigarettes, it was weed, I obviously I didn't take any of this. I saw my classmates do all that and I went like, hey guys. Okay.
And it's kind of like a weird, it's you it gives you that temporary release, but in the long run, it locks you down, right?
No, for sure. It messed a lot of my classmates up. And they had to they had to clean up the hard way. Like full blown on like cold turkey.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And I don't want the next generation to go through that.
Yeah. You have the freedom of, it's not really freedom, but it is a freeing moment while you take that drug. But
Correct.
it, in the long run, takes away your freedom. It limits your freedom.
Correct.
And even things like people say that, like weed is not addictive and it's natural and all of that. But and I'm not like a weed taker by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But
I think our group was never weed takers.
Yeah. But from what I understand, the concentration and the the high quality of some of these things now, it's so crazy.
No, it is.
And it's become so like in some ways very accessible.
Yeah.
That it is really messing with people's minds.
Yeah.
Even weed also now is super strong, I think. From what I have watched and read online, it's become so potent that it really is, young kids are getting like paranoia and things like this. It's pretty wild.
Oh God, that's scary.
Yeah. And like you said, right, because like we are so incentivized on making people the so-called best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
And not just being themselves.
Yeah.
There are going to be more people flocking
For
to
sure.
these things, right?
For sure. Because they need something. They're prioritizing the wrong thing. They're prioritizing getting the A. We'll do whatever it takes to get the A. Weed, Xanax, Ritalin, whatever you name it, right?
Yeah.
Sleeping medication. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Or they just put their own peace of mind to the side, and they need for everything, right? Like you said, there's a cost, and they need something to balance it out.
Correct.
And they may not even consciously know, but because, like, for example, they're not taking like a Sunday just to rest, right? They flock to these things without even knowing it.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, I don't know. So you said just now that you were a bit jaded. I just wonder, from after going through all the experiences, writing this book, planning for more books to come, how jaded are you?
No, let me correct that. I think I'm jaded with hoping to control things I can't control. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So I just spoke about this with my Quran friends today. When we were younger, our prayers used to be very long. It used to be like, oh God, please grant me this, grant me da, 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 da. And as you grow older, you go like, I will accept whatever you give. Whatever you think is best, God, throw it my way. And they're like short, succinct, because you just know like at the end of the day, you can pray for whatever you want to pray, and that's great. But at the end of the day, you would always want to pray to God for what's best for you.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, just go short and sweet, just go.
And our plans are really nothing.
Their plans are nothing compared to God's greater plan.
Sometimes you just want to let the experts handle what the experts are supposed to handle.
Correct. So it's jaded in that sense, and it's a lot of just like accepting what God has planned for you, as uncomfortable and as painful as the path might be. It is still the best for you.
And so in what ways are you then hopeful?
I'm still hopeful that people can change. Because that's still within God's power. And so long as it is within God's power, it can happen. I'm still hopeful that we would have better leaders that would prioritize better values or better goals. I'm still hopeful that our kids are smart, and I'm hopeful that our kids will realize what we have been trying to attempt to do in this lifetime that we have, and try to enforce what we have tried to fight for. So I'm very, very hopeful in that.
Very nice, very nice. I think, we had a very good conversation.
I love this conversation.
I have with me my signed copy of Mona Ali Mysteries, the case of the Star Prefect. Let's put it up. Where's the...
This is the one with the LOU?
LOU? Oh, yeah. The LOU is there. Right, I can show my signed. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, my LOU with Puteri There you go.
I had to write an LOU to say that I will write him as a villain in one of the books.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited.
Are you sure you want to be a villain or you don't want to be like a witness or like?
No, I want to be the villain. I
Okay.
want to be the villain. That'd be great.
I hate to think of it in, in other books. It has to be.
If you see a podcaster in any of the future books, you
Oh,
know,
no,
you know.
I will hide you. You will be pseudomized.
Okay, great. Again, if you found this conversation interesting anyway, please do go. Even if you found it was boring, please do go pick up the Mona Ali Mysteries, The Case of the Star Prefect by Puteri Eleni. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's in
It's
Kinokuniya, it's in Book Access, it's in MPH, it's in Popular. What bookstore you want, you tell me.
Yeah, it's crazy. You're all over the place. You're on The Edge and
I am.
you're all over.
I'm on a podcast now.
Right.
Life is great. 2026 is doing me great.
Yeah, you know why?
Alhamdulillah.
Because you're not defining yourself by your achievements.
That is so true.
And they're coming naturally.
They are coming
They're coming
naturally.
holistically to you.
Aw, that's such a nice thing to say.
Anyway, hope to have you on again. You are a regular guest on Rumah Roy podcast.
I would love to come to Rumah Roy again.
Yeah, I would love to have you again. I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
How many books have you planned so far?
The second one is in editing stage.
Wonderful.
I've just finished the first draft for the third book.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out how to kill a group of people there.
Nice.
And
nice.
then the fourth book is in my head.
Mm.
The fifth book is also in my head.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're still here, please do subscribe on YouTube, push the notification
Like and subscribe.
button, subscribe, share this podcast, share the YouTube video.
Sponsor it.
Let's make Puteri Eleni even more famous than she is now, right?
Sponsor this podcast.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Please stay good, stay healthy, and safe. And we are done.